Good morning, CSL Asheville. That was such an ending, I almost didn't realize it was time to get up here. Hi, my name's Celeste Loren. I'm a practitioner here at the center. I'd like to draw your attention to a few announcements. We have them on the overhead here. If you would please pull out your cell phone and be sure to silence it or turn it off. But you are welcome to take pictures, videos, and share them online. Send them to friends, however you choose to share your experience here. Today we have a wonderful experience, the Serenity Sound Bath. Some of you experienced that last month. And you're welcome to join us for our covered dish lunch in the social hall after the celebration. And then come upstairs to Kristen Hilligus. Would you like to stand up there, Kristen? And you'll be in for a special treat today. It's actually going to be over in the second building upstairs in the Children's Center, right? Because it has a cushy floor, so you can lay down. All right. And tonight we have the Sharing Grief Circle, and that is on Zoom, and that is with our chaplains, Judith and Jim. They are here in the front row. You can raise your hands. If you have any questions, you can ask them about it. It's on Zoom tonight at 6 to 8 p.m., and you can sign up. They sign up so that you get a private Zoom link, okay? Next, we have an opportunity to be creative. You are welcome to get your creative spirits out, bring out all of your craft supplies and your hats, whatever kind of things you might have hiding in your closet for those special days, and decorate and come creatively expressing yourself next week with a hat, so they say. All right, everyone's invited to participate. You don't have to, but it's an opportunity. All right. How to Boost Vitality Through Food is a series of cooking classes, and this is a continuation. This is the third section, the third one in a series, and it's by Lori Ricciardoni. You would stand up here or just raise your hand there. If you have any questions at all, you can certainly talk to her, and it's a wonderful opportunity for healthy cooking and eating some great food, and she can share with you what more information you might want to know about that. All right, next. There are so many wonderful things happening here. You can check out the website and in the social hall, and there are many things that you can participate in and other classes. You can check out the calendars. All right, and we would like to thank everyone for being here today. Thank everyone who participates in making this special celebration a time of peace and joy and fun. And with that, we have our affirmation. So join with me in saying our affirmation. We're going to say it twice. The April affirmation is, I am the fullness of life. I participate and celebrate life just as I am. I am the fullness of life. I participate and celebrate life just as I am. Thank you.
am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light.
And as I breathe this breath, this divine, wondrous breath, I have the awareness of all that is. I have the awareness that God is here and that we are spirit in form as humans. And because I know this for myself. I know that I am the presence, the prayer, and the absolute oneness of the incredible universal law. And I know for each of us, we are also that presence. We are the power, the absolute oneness, and the spiritual guidance of all that is. And as I continue to breathe, I accept and know the absolute prosperity and abundance that is our birthright here on this planet, that we together know that presence. We live it, we speak it, we feel it, we love it. And with this prosperity comes the absolute creative expression of all the relationships we have. It is the absolute expression of the divine in all our relationships. And that within each of us is the expression of spirit here on earth. And with this, I am and have the knowing of everything that is, the divine presence of all spirit moving forward in this life, moving us forward in our experiences, our loving, and our absolute ability to do whatever it is we want to do with love, with joy, with spirit. And I'm grateful for all of this. I'm grateful for the presence that we are. I'm grateful for the knowledge that we have this oneness, that we are this oneness, no matter how it manifests. I'm grateful for the abundance of all the money in our bank accounts, all the prosperity that allows us to use all of this to our advantage. I'm grateful. I'm forever grateful. And I release these words into the living, loving law, knowing because I speak them, they are so, they are true, they have power, because they are of the divine. I release this, and so it is.
And so it is.
The reading for today is titled, "We Have Not Come to Take Prisoners" by Hafiz. We have not come here to take prisoners, but to surrender ever more deeply to freedom and joy. We have not come into this exquisite world to hold ourselves hostage from love. Run, my dear, from anything that may not strengthen your precious budding wings. Run like hell, my dear, from anyone likely to put a sharp knife into the sacred, tender vision of your beautiful heart. We have a duty to befriend those aspects of obedience that stand outside of our house and shout to our reason, oh, please, come out and play. For we have not come here to take prisoners or to confine our wondrous spirits, but to experience ever and ever more deeply our divine courage, freedom, and light.
You punched your ticket the day you were born, the first chapter in an epic tale. Dragons to fight, symphonies to write on your way to the Holy Grail. There's just one long road, destiny or fate, one long road. There's your name when love is always on your side. Get out there and ride. The fire in your heart might make you crazy, take you round and round the bend. A million questions to be answered. All those twists and turns bring you back again. There's just one long road, the destiny or fate. One long road, the one that bears your name when love is always on your side. Get out there and ride. We all get sidetracked somewhere along the way, get caught up in the gridlock of fear. But there's never a traffic jam on the high road, and the signs for the off-ramp are always clear. There's just one long road, call it destiny or fate. One long road, the one that bears your name, where love is always on your side. Get out there and ride. Oh, when love is always on your side. Get out there and ride. Get out there and ride. Get out there and ride.
That's an intro, right? One voice, David Washington, Paul McIntyre, rocking the house. So I get the great privilege to introduce somebody that some of you already know. Yeah. Reverend Christy Corna is in the house. So you might have remembered her that she used to be here a while back. She was the administrator here. She has gone on. She is now the associate minister at Unity of Blue Ridge, doing great things over there. And she is here giving our as a guest speaker today, giving this fabulous talk. And I'm just grateful. I am so grateful you're here. Reverend Christy.
Ooh, I have standing. So, I wondered what would happen when I got up here, and I think I just need to take a moment. There's a saying that says you can't go home, but I don't believe that's true. And hopefully, somebody said, I can't wait to hear your message, and I said, yeah, me too. Because, they say there's always three talks you're going to give, and one is the one you think you're going to give, the one you give, and then the one you go, oh, I wish I had said that. So, I've learned over the years to open my heart, open my mind, and let Spirit speak through me. So I'm here today. Somebody said, this is like a healing. This is like a coming home. This is like, wow, you started here, and look where you are now. And, it's full circle. And I don't see it as full circle. What I see it as is life is a spiral. Life is a spiral, and Spirit is here to express through each of us, right? So the whole idea of Spirit expressing through us is evolution. It's about expansion. It's about being more, doing more, living more, and especially loving more. So this is my opportunity to really reflect on my life, my spiritual journey, and I see it as a spiral. And it's been 9 years, basically, since I was here. So yeah, so the journey, the spiral, right, has just been ever expanding. And I was thinking about, today is Palm Sunday, and I know that people oftentimes in New Thought don't want to hear anything biblical, but I love the metaphysical and mystical teachings of the great example, not the great exception, the master teacher Jesus, just like the other master teachers. And Palm Sunday is notoriously known for, Jesus comes in riding on a donkey, very humbled, and, people are honoring him and laying down garments and palms, and he's riding in to meet his demise. That's so not it. What he's doing is he's riding in wholly and completely centered in his beliefs, wholly and completely centered in knowing who he is as a divine expression. He's coming out of secrecy. He's coming out of hiding. He's coming in to face his own magnificence and to take a stand in that. And I think that those of us in New Thought have that opportunity all the time to bring it on home, if you will. So the title of my talk is The Mystical Journey Home. And I've put together a little acronym, if you will, for that, because I think that spiritual practice, as many little things as you can do to bring it on home and own your own spiritual magnificence, is the gift of this teaching. We're all here seeking that. Rumi says what you are seeking is seeking you. So it's a matter of, can I create that space? Can I create that environment within myself to let that light shine? And, my whole spiritual journey has been, and I think as with any of us, is not always filled with love and light and peace and joyfulness. And it's like, what do you do in those moments? Because life happens, right? There's broken relationships, there's change in career, there's, I remember in 2014, I didn't know if I was going to share this, but I guess I am. So in 2014, I decided, my mom had passed away, and then my father made his transition. And he made his transition, and I thought, wow, I started really reflecting on who am I now? Who am I now if I'm not identifying with, being somebody's daughter? Who am I now? And I kept posing that question to myself, and I ended up, in 1 year's time, my father passed. I decided here, I've been serving, I had the opportunity to say, okay, who am I now if I'm not at CSL Asheville? My relationship ended, and I thought, oh, okay, I have the opportunity to say, who am I now if I'm not in a relationship? And it started a whole new awakening journey. It was very humbling. It was very, painful at times. Some of the things really surprised me. And when my relationship at that time ended, I thought, well, this just sucks. Basically, I was filled with a lot of pain and a lot of what next. Oh my God, I didn't expect this. What's going on? And it prepared me to create a space. It's the best way I can describe it. Create a space, to create an environment where I can fall back into the remembrance of who I am. So I asked myself, who am I without this, without that, without this, without that? And every part of that question that started to shift in my life, it was just a shifting. It wasn't a falling away. It was just a making space kind of scenario for me. And I really took advantage of that and kind of relaxed into it after going like this, emotionally. But the one thing that I never, ever, 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 ever lost sight of was who I am. The integrity of my being, knowing that I am a divine expression of the infinite, whole and complete in this now moment, no matter what's going on, what seems to be going on out there. I don't live my life at the effect of what's going on out there. I live my life from the inside outward. So I had to constantly bring it on home. So I was thinking of this, Jesus riding into really, it's also called Passion Sunday, Palm Sunday. So very passionate about his beliefs. And I thought, one of the greatest teachings from this center, from Science of Mind, from my journey through ministerial school, through the work that I'm doing now, is to remember who I am. So it's a day of remembrance, and it's a day of coming home. So when I pulled in here, and I got to say, David, when you played that last song, yeah, I love that song, but when you played the prayerful song, I was like, uh-oh, I'm going to cry. Because I'm a crier, but I'm not a crier in public. But anyway, so if I have some tears, just bear with me. But it's because I felt home. I felt open. I walked into this place, and every memory and every shift in consciousness, every gift I've ever been given in this community, the support of everybody in this community, has fed my path and fed my soul and fed my heart. So that's probably the greatest gift. We're all walking this road alone. There's a quote by Jerry Garcia. Any Grateful Dead fans out there? And it says this: there is a road, no simple highway, between the dawn and the dark of night. And if you go, no one may follow. That path is for your steps alone. But we're not in this alone, are we? The work that we do, the remembrance of who we are, the practicality of the teachings of the Science of Mind and New Thought, all of that is our responsibility. All of that is our personal journey. Yet, as Ram Dass says, we're all walking each other home, right? So we're in this together, and this is the gift of spiritual community. So, hold on to this in a way that is really reverent, because each of us is here to reflect that divinity. Each of us is here to remind one another of who we truly are. No matter what it looks like is going on in our life, no matter where we've been, the things that we've done, none of that matters. Because in this now moment, the one thing that is ever unchanging, I know this to be true, is that I am spirit. You are spirit. And in that is the infinite potential for you to be who you came here to be. And only you can be who you came here to be. We're all reflecting to one another. And so in spiritual community, we see that, recognize that, but support one another in that. So it's a really honoring thing. And when I was asked to speak here, I thought, what an honor. What an honor. If you're thinking in terms of spiritual awakenings, I grew up here. I grew up. I came in, I moved from Connecticut, I moved to North Carolina. Somebody said, hey, check out the Center for Spiritual Living, or it was then Center for Creative Living out in the cornfield. And I went and I walked in the doors and I thought, oh my God, I am home. You know that feeling when you walk in and people are talking your language and you feel like you're amongst kindred spirits and people are actually, for the first time in your life, actually probably get you at some level, because I've always been the weird one. I've always been the, instead of the black sheep, I like to think of the rainbow sheep of the family. And, I've always felt a little different. When I walked in, I felt like, wow, somebody's going to get me here. And I just decided that I was going to set down all the baggage of my past, not pick through. There's a saying that when you take the trash out, this is the work in the spiritual journey. When you take the trash out, you don't set the bags down, reopen them, and start sorting through it. It's like, do you have the willingness to just let it go? So I think many of us, when we come into spiritual community, right, we're at a point where we're seeking something different. We're seeking something more. We're seeking something that is seeking us. It's that inner nudging and knowing and calling that's, just drawing us home to our true selves. And so when I walked through the doors in the cornfield, I thought, this is it. This is my new home. And boy, I stayed for, I don't know how long, 14 years, something like that, I don't know. And so basically the bottom line is in my spiritual awakening, I grew up here. And I cannot tell you how eternally grateful I am to this community, to Barbara and John, to those that have come in since, because spiritual community is the real gift that reminds me of who I am. Because left to my own devices, I tend to struggle with that a little bit. I like to hang out in the shadows of my life, and think that it's all work to clear and heal. And it's not. Ernest Holmes says there's nothing to be healed, only truth to be revealed. And the revelation for me is more about remembering who I am. It's more about the light. And let me tell you, if you got shadow stuff going on in your life, if you're feeling like not so cool within yourself, shadows are only cast when there's light. So always remember there's light, even amidst the shadow parts of your life. So I was thinking of this acronym, HOME. And, I thought, well, what would the H be? Well, for me, it's always heart. What do I feel right here? What do I know to be true about myself? I'm sensitive, I'm loving, I'm compassionate, I'm empathetic, sometimes to a fault, but I'm very passionate about love and compassion and giving and being of service and honoring others. Does that mean I don't, have some stuff? No, we all do, because we're all human, right? But I was thinking about this whole idea of heart, and then I was thinking about spiritual mind treatment. And when you think about steps 1 and 2 of spiritual mind treatment, if God is. So if God is all that there is, then I too am that divine expression of the infinite. And there's nothing that brings me more center more quickly than remembering steps 1 and 2 of treatment. God is, I am. And in that I can pause, and really get back to the truth of who I know myself to be. We all have something to give. We all have something to bring. Our presence alone, no matter what's going on, is way more than enough. Because God has called each of us to be present in this holy instant, to be light and to be love. And I know that sounds a little woo-woo, and life is not always love and light, and yay. But at the same time, that is the one thing that is steadfast. That's the one thing that is never, ever changing. That is the essence of who we are. Infinite intelligence, divine possibility, peace, love. And while we're playing in a 3D world and we're meeting all these people and meeting all these situations and sometimes having struggles, it doesn't mean that any of that has changed. I was having a conversation last night with my partner, Deb, and said, you know, there's an old saying I learned in the 80s that said, you know, if you're feeling separate, who moved? If you're feeling separate from God, who moved? If you're feeling separate in your relationship, who moved? Because as the reading shared, that Celeste shared, you know, we tend to create things that get in our way, and we can't see the truth beyond the things. But the things are temporary. Life is fluid. So to bring it on home, the first thing you got to do is get in touch with your heart. What's important to you? What do you know to be your spiritual integrity? Can you remember in that instant, no matter what's going on, whether it's like a big celebration or it's, you know, something that you'd rather not deal with, the yuckiness of life? Can you remind yourself that, you know, wait a minute, there's a divine infinite intelligence, that is God, that is spirit, that is at work in every aspect of life, right here and right now. And if that divinity is the very source of all life, it is resourced through each of us. So therefore, I am, and all that God is, I am. That brings it on home to my heart. Then I was thinking of the O. The O is about ownership. You know, I have to own who I am. I have to own the choices that I make. And this is not so much about the things that I do and the things that I say and the choices that I've made along the way. Even deeper than that, in this heart space, is owning my divinity. Am I willing to own that I am love? Am I willing to really own that I'm a gift? Am I really willing to own that I have a place on this planet? Am I willing to own that my path and my purpose, you know, are mine alone, that I get to share and is a gift to the world? Am I willing to take ownership with that? And the other side of that is, am I looking out there and passing judgment and holding other people accountable for the experience of my life? Well, I'm only responsible for my feelings. I'm only responsible for my perception. I'm the only one that's responsible for how I choose to react versus act. I'd rather act. And when I bring it on home, I was thinking about there's so much going on in the world right now. It's been a really strange couple of years, right? With the shutdown and staying home and this and that, and then it's just seemed to ripple out in absolute chaos. And I'm reminded that, you know, in Genesis in the beginning, and if you look at other holy texts, when they talk about creation, you know, creation is always preceded by chaos. And you know where I was reminded of that? I stopped at a little corner store out in Hooper's Creek in Fletcher. And I went up to the register, and the guy was saying, "It's a crazy world out there." And I said, "Indeed." And and I knew it was going to get political, and I was just like, "Indeed." And he just saw that he wasn't hooking me. I wasn't getting engaged. And he just stopped and he said, "But you know, all is perfect right now. It's all going to be okay, because as it says in Genesis, you know, creation is preceded by chaos." And I went, you know, I did not expect that at all. But those are the kind of teachings, right, that kind of stay stuck in here. So home, bring it on home to your heart. You know, bring it on home. And when the first fire, I was thinking on the way over here, the first fire walk I ever did was with Edwin Gaines. And before we did the fire walk, you know, that's all I ever wanted to do was walk on that fire. And she looked at me and she said, "Darling, I will carry you across that fire if I have to, but you go across that fire." But by the time I did that, I did my first fire walk, we were chanting a chant that said, open your mind, see what you find, and bring it on home to your people. And on the way over here, I started chanting that. And that's what it's about. It's all about us opening up, you know, and then bringing it home to our people. And you know where our people are? Everywhere. They're here where we get to come together and celebrate, right? But they're everywhere. They're at the little corner store in Hoopers Creek. They're everywhere. So if I'm open and really taking ownership of what is mine to do, then can I get the clarity to make effective change in the world if I'm thinking of things out there. Only when I'm open and taking ownership in my life can I make a shift in my relationship. And, everything's a relationship. It's how you relate to. You have a relationship with money. How do you relate to money? You have a relationship with significant others and other people. How am I relating to that? That's all about my perspective. That's all about my consciousness. And so, the dances, and I'd rather see it as a dance than work. I don't like the idea of, well, I need to work on this. No, I need to just get clear and dance with it, because something's wanting to emerge. There is something always from the infinite that is wanting to emerge from us at a greater level. So bring it on home to your heart. What's important to you? Where's the love? What does that love look like in your life? Ownership. Take ownership. Just claim it. But not only claim your stuff that might need to be shifted, but claim your divinity. And that one took me a long time. And then the M is mindfulness. I did a talk many years ago here called Mind Your Own Business. It's about minding your own business. Not that I don't want to get involved in what's going on in your life. Of course I do. I'm a loving, giving person, so of course I do. Yet, minding my own business is paying attention to reactions, actions, choices, feelings, thoughts. I was in conversation with someone recently, and she said that someone had said to her, you kind of left your post. And she was like, what do you mean? And, each of us is we sit at the gate of our own thoughts, if you will. So we sit at the gateway of our consciousness. And when we're busy and not paying attention and not bringing it home, and not paying attention to love, and not paying attention to the true essence of who we are, and not owning that, it's easy to get lost out there. But we have that responsibility, if you will, but we have the opportunity to sit at the gate of our consciousness. We get to create a life that we want. And so, you move from step 1, step 2, right? The second one, ownership, is about step 2, step 3. It's about, okay, if God is and I am, then all that God is, I am. And really starting to get clear on what you want to create for your life. And sometimes things have to fall away. Sometimes things will come in and you'll be like, well, I wasn't expecting that. But roll with it. Just roll with it, because if you have faith, you're going to see your life as just flourishing, no matter what it feels like in the moment. There is infinite possibilities at hand. So the mindfulness is, where do you want to put your focus? What is that? Energy goes where attention goes, energy flows. So, pay attention to your thoughts. Own them, claim them, but be mindful in all your efforts. It doesn't mean stay stuck up here. I heard once that the longest distance is 13 inches between here and here, your heart and your head. Be mindful. Are you in alignment with your spiritual beliefs? Are you in alignment with what is important to you? Are you in alignment in a way that, perhaps Jesus walked in or rode in on the donkey? Are you in alignment and so aware of who you are, and that there are things about you that are unshakable? Can you remember that? That is the mindfulness. And so when that changes how I speak, that changes how I act, that changes how I hug, that changes how I work, that changes everything if I'm really paying attention to being in spiritual alignment, being in integrity with myself and my divinity. And then the E is expression. So there's H, heart, O, ownership. Claim it, but claim your divinity, more than the other stuff, because that stuff's going to fall away. Life is fluid, ever-changing. Be mindful. Be mindful and intentional and in your own spiritual integrity, and use your own spiritual discernment in the action that you take. That's where the rubber meets the road. We're all there in every moment. And so E is the expression. And so how do I express myself? I can tell you I hid so much of my life. I stayed behind. I felt less than. I, compared myself to others. I didn't see that I was called to be here. I didn't see that. I didn't see that till actually I came here. That I was actually called to be on this planet at this time, to bring my own gifts, to be who I am, my wacky sense of humor, even swearing now and then, or a lot. They said I wasn't going to swear up here, and she said, well, just Barbara used to look out and see who was in, but I'm not going to do that. But all the quirkiness about me is just what I've learned to embrace over the years. So the expression is really embodying not only these teachings, but embodying, who you are. There is something so vulnerable and tender and nurturing about relaxing into the wholeness of yourself. And no matter what's going on in our lives, we all have that soft place to land. It's right in our heart. The truth is unchanging, right? But think of truth not as something stern and, clear and rigid. It's not. It is the softest place to land. If you just let yourself relax into your light. Let yourself relax into your gifts. If you let yourself relax into your playfulness, your creativity. You know what I would love to do? Paint. I see paintings and I go, oh my God, they're so beautiful. I'll take out some colors and, let's just say my stick figures are purple and orange. I don't have that gift, and that's okay. That's not my creative avenue of expression. But my humor is, my love is, my being of sacred service is, my relationships, how I love family. You want to hear a manifestation story? Yes. Which one? Yeah, which one? Because if you pay attention, there are synchronicities happening all the time. And if you get a little buzz and a little hit where you go, oh, wow, I see that as spirit talking. That's your soul going, oh, yeah. And so, I was thinking when I said that, you want to hear a manifestation story? There's one I used to tell where I was thinking about something. I stopped at a gas pump. I looked down. It was one of those Swiss Army knives. I thought, oh, that would be really cool to have. And I looked down when I was pumping gas, and there it was. And I thought, oh, I created this. I was so excited. So I said, I want $100 or $200. I was down in Florida. I was driving, took a left, nothing around, money's falling from the sky. So I thought I was hallucinating, but stopped, went out. Everybody's out there like a big money machine, right? Big universal money machine. Anyway, so that's what came to my mind. But what I really want to say is, sometimes we never know the individual path where it's going to lead us. We may think we do, but if you pay attention, it's one amazing adventure. And I can tell you that one thing that I always said I wanted was my own family, right? And I thought, okay, well, I started out early on. I was going to, get married and have kids, and that didn't pan out because I woke up to who I was. And so, I shifted my relationships, and I just held on that one of the most important things to me is family. So spiritual community became my family. And I still hang on to that. No matter where I go, it's my spiritual community, whether I'm at a little corner store in Hoopers Creek, or I'm here back home, or whether I'm where I'm working now and serving. Love the communities. communities, right, are the biggest reflection of spirit at work. So you hold on to that stuff. I held on to that stuff. But then all of a sudden, sometimes, hindsight is 20/20, you look back. People say to me now, man, you look great. You look happy. How's your life? And I'm like, good. I'm in a relationship that almost 5 years now. It just blows my mind, right? But you know what the biggest gift out of that? The one thing I always held on to in my heart is that I wanted family. And now I have a family. I have kids that call me a bonus mom. I have, sister-in-loves and mother-in-loves, and, my family has just gotten bigger. And I realized that I was just limiting it to my spiritual community, which I also link closely to my work. It's not. It's who I came here to be. We are one big family. So if you think of this idea of oneness, we're all a family. You've got the wild ones, you've got the rebels, you've got the oh my God, where did I go wrong, folks, But you always have love and connection. So seek the love and connection. And always, always, always bring it on home. Bring it on home to your heart. Own your own magnificence. Be mindful of your life. Go ahead and sit on that high throne as the gatekeeper of your consciousness. And express it, live it out loud. Live it out loud. Just don't hide back. Don't dance like this through life. Dance. You gotta dance and allow it to happen. And that has been that's probably my greatest manifestation story yet. Because I remember, I always wanted a family. Now I got a family. I had a family and a home and Hooper's Creek. Who would have thought? So that's it. Just bring it on home. Remember who you are. Remember your divinity. Don't make it hard. It's not easy, but it is so simple. And I don't know if you have the tendency to make things hard, but I sure do. I'll complicate anything. I'm an overthinker and an overfeeler. So, I can get my own way really quickly. It's so simple. Open up. Open your heart, open your mind, bring it on home to your people. Let that be reflected in one another. Give the gift of life to yourself, because Spirit is trying to express itself through you in a way unlike any other human, any other gift that needs to help shift the consciousness and bring harmony and love and peace and healing in this world. This is all part of evolution, and each one of us has been called. So thank you for being a part of my path. And I wanted to share with you a reading to wrap this up in remembrance. And I love Hafiz and I love Rumi. So when you started reading Hafiz, I was like, yes. And this is translated by Andrew Harvey from Dancing with Rumi. So close your eyes if you choose to. Just take in these words and feel these words. Bring it on home. Let yourself fall gently into that heart space where there's light. And there may be shadows dancing, but there's always only light. Gazing at the light. The lamps are different, but the light is the same. So many garnished lamps in the dying brain's lamp show. Forget about them. Concentrate on the essence. Concentrate on the light. In lucid bliss, calmly smoking off its own holy fire, the light streams towards you from all things. All people, all possible permutations of good, evil, thought, passion. Yes, the lamps are different, but the light is the same. One matter, one energy, one light mind, endlessly emanating all things. One turning and burning diamond, one. Ground yourself, Strip yourself down to blind, loving silence. Stay there until you see you are gazing at the light with its own ageless eyes. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, and you can indeed return home anytime, any moment. It was an honor. It's been so, this place just feels like a big hug to me right now. So I'm really honored. I'm honored for the teachers that came before me, the students that came before me, and I'm honored for everything that I've learned on my life's journey, and I'm forever open to what's next. I'm forever open to bringing my light, and I invite you all to bring your light. And as we move into this Holy Week, it's a very profound time of year for me. The invitation is to go ahead, just claim who you are. Invite that remembrance of the presence. Be willing to let things die off so that you may rise in consciousness and shine your light even brighter. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Reverend Christy. It is my great honor to now ask who is in the room for the very first time. If you could raise your hand. Excellent. We have, keep your hand raised so we can, Joanna has a little envelope or a little card for you to fill out so we can share information about what's happening, all the fantastic things that are happening here at this center. And we'd love to, we don't inundate you with information, we just share what's going on at our center. And I'd like to invite our prosperity acceptors to come forward, please. Please take out what you're going to give, hold it close to your heart. If you're watching online, please consider hitting the Donate Now button. I know that this whole celebration has been full of inspiration and love, and the gift keeps on giving. So we give back to this amazing center that has offered us these gifts of truth and wisdom. And together, let us repeat our affirmation together. I freely and joyously give from the abundance and fullness of my overflowing wealth, knowing my gift goes with love as it touches and blesses the world. And so it is.
Today's a perfect day to break away, get lifted. Designate a brand new holiday, get lifted. To begin, we're gonna make a bold rebound, take it in. Feel the love that's all around. Life is a miracle. You know that we've been gifted. Let's get lifted. Today is a fun day. Playing Sunday. Go find the perfect place. Feel the sun upon your face. Under an azure sky. Watch the clouds go by. Enjoy the wonder of it all today. Today's a perfect day to break away, get lifted. Designate a brand new holiday, get lifted. Life is a miracle, you know that we've been gifted. Let's get lifted. We've been gifted. Let's get lifted. We get lifted.
I know that everything in these baskets is blessed because it came from you, because this celebration of life has just been phenomenal. And all of these gifts support this center and continuing to share this message of love and wisdom and joy with the world. These gifts touch and bless the world, for it's not contained within these rooms. It goes out into the world, touching and blessing and gracing every single life that receives these messages of truth. I am so grateful for this center, and I am so grateful for these gifts. And so it is. So we actually have kids in the room, but we took that out of the celebration. So I would like us to take the opportunity and bless everyone. Turn to your neighbor and rub your hands together and say, "We love you, we bless you, and we know you are perfect." Just to change it up a little bit. I believe the next thing is music.
More celebration.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo.
more celebration.
1, 2, 3, 4. Dance, dance, dance into the light. Stand, 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 stand in the truth. Truth is, I was one in spirit long before I was born. Truth is, I am one in spirit now, and after I'm gone, 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 dance, dance, dance into the light. Stand, 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 stand in the truth. I've learned to love my body as it changes size and shape. Truth is, I can make my life from anything to wonderful and great. Dance, dance, dance into the light. Stand, 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 stand in the truth. When I'm feeling low and not sure what to do, I turn my head around and face up to the truth. I'll deal with anything that's at my hand to do, while never losing sight of what is really true. I see circumstances, opportunity to show I'm so much more than physicality. I'm thankful for my friends and their good company, the encouragement from those at hand and those I cannot see. Keep on dancing, yeah, 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 yeah. Keep on dancing, dancing into life.
I've got my exercise today. So I'd like to take the moment to invite our practitioners, our ministers to come forward that will hold you in consciousness after our celebration. Yeah. These are amazing beings who have done years of work on themselves to stand clear and conscious and to know the truth of you, no matter what may be going on for you in your life. So even if you don't take the opportunity today to ask them for treatment or prayer, then please know that they can be found both on our website and out in the hall, in our social hall. Their contact information is there available to you. And I'm going to do a brief blessing on the food, because there's lots of glorious food in the other room waiting to be consumed by us. So I know that everything that we have shared today, including the food, is sacred and holy and blessed in every way. It nourishes us, mind, body, and spirit. And we take this glorious food, all of that we have received, into the world, and we share it with our peeps. Let's say, if you will, stand with me, and let's say a benediction together aloud, please. Something wonderful is happening to me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my affairs. I accept it. I am it. I share it, just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love is all around me.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me know that love is all around me.
Let me know that love is all around me.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me know that love will heal us all.
Let me know that love will heal us all.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Let me love in a holy, holy way.
Oh, let me love